Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Getting some delays over here. Hopefully, you can still see me. Having a technical issue. Just a moment. Bear with me. My screen went off. Hi, everyone. Sorry about the technical issue. As you know, when we work with technology, the unexpected can happen, but what matters is how you respond to that and how you bounce back. And that resiliency is part of your brand as well. So today we are talking about how to enhance your brand, what mistakes to avoid. And I am your host, Sinead Chapman. I'm the founder of Nerdy Diva. We are a tech company. We do technical training on user experience research and design. We partner with LinkedIn, Nelson Norman Group, Camelback Ventures, and many other organizations as well. So if you are interested in having us come in and doing some virtual or in-person training on research and design and how to use AI in your practice, definitely reach out. We also work with companies and nonprofit organizations building out their designs and doing research to help enhance their brand. So very excited to talk to you all today and share some inspiration that you can use for your brand, whether you have a business or a nonprofit, or if you are marketing yourself in your job search. So branding is for everyone, individuals, job seekers, companies, nonprofit organizations, and more. So who's here with me? Monica. Hi, Monica. Good morning. Shelby is here also. Yes, we are here together sharing knowledge and also want to hear from you as we go through this process. So I'm going to share tips that I've learned during the 5+ years I've had my business, lessons learned, mistakes I've made, and things that I want to share with you so you don't make the same mistakes. So one of the things that I did now that I look back at it was I started branding and really focused on, what I liked, what I wanted. And sometimes we do that. Hello from Armenia. Hi. Hello there. Is it Hermione? Cute name. Yes. Hi, Jay. Hello. Hello. And sometimes when we build businesses and we are marketing ourselves, we think about, oh, what do I like? What is it that I want to share with people? But when you are branding and you are promoting your skills and your products and your services, it's really important to know your customers and know what is it that they have problems with, what is it that you can help them solve, and how do you share that in a concise way and share it in a way that is clear so they understand immediately. Like, what's your elevator pitch? What is it that you can help people with? What's your gift? What's your talent that you can help people with in getting unstuck, and making sure that you are sharing that and your brand and your marketing of your website, of your social media, the name of your brand. When you hear Nerdy Diva, you know that there's something related to technology and empowering women, and that's part of our brand. So being able to come up with a name for your brand and coming up with logos for your brand. So a logo that represents what it is that you believe in and that your customers are going to be drawn to, and what is it that is going to help them with creating solutions to the problems that exist. So for Nerdy Diva, we know that there's disparities. We know there's a lot of women and people of color, LGBT folks who don't have as many opportunities in technology. We know that. But part of the work that we do is working with people to help them find opportunities to work with our clients. We have internships, we have contractors that work on projects with us, and giving people opportunities to grow their careers, and speaking and sharing knowledge when we do trainings about how do we create more inclusive products and services and opportunities in the workplace. So that's a big part of what we do as well. Hello, Dan from St. Louis. Yes, yes. Yeah, coming up with a name and logo is very hard. And that's something where you can continue to reach out to your target audience. So if you have a company that's like a training company, you reach out to people who would be interested in those training services, and you ask them questions about what would you expect to see for your curriculum? What would you expect to see for the pricing? What would you expect to see? What types of names resonate with you? You can pick out like a list of names and have people give you feedback on those names so that you have some data that you use to help drive the decisions you make about your branding. And I think that's sometimes something that we forget. Like, branding can be very creative, it can be fun, and we love things that are vibrant and that are something that's new and unexpected. We love to see that, but it's also important to make sure that we are connecting with the people who are going to buy our products and buy our services. So making sure that we're doing that research, making sure that we are touching, having those touch points, whether that's online. If you're online with social media, that's a great place to ask people questions about if you have various logo ideas, which logo do you like more and why? Getting that understanding of why they like the logo. What is it about it? Does it convey the message of your brand to them? Are they able to understand what it is that you do from that logo and from the color schemes that you have? Like, is it connecting to your audience? So definitely getting that feedback, really important. And if you haven't had opportunity to get feedback to learn more about your brand and about the people who are going to be buying your products and services, this is a reminder for you to start doing that today. So start looking into ways where you can get feedback on your brand. And the scariest part is just putting yourself out there. That's the first step. Putting out your brand name ideas, putting out your logo ideas, putting out your marketing ideas. And then that's the way that you're going to see how people connect with your audience. So something that we do at Nerdy Diva is we try out different marketing campaigns. So using different types of language, using more like conversational language and using more like uplifting tone in our language, and then using some of the trends that we see on social media. So looking up some of the trends that are happening across social media and look for ways that we can use that as well. So that is a first step that I see as something that people make mistakes in, is that they create brands and they don't do any research and they just base it off of what do they think that their customers will like, instead of getting the feedback directly from people who will buy their services, who will want to engage with them on social media. So it's really important to know your customers and the problem that you're going to solve for them. Ask them questions, whether that's social media, or whether that's having a survey or doing interviews with them, asking them for 15, 20 minutes to learn more about how do you purchase like training services? What do you look for when you are booking speakers? So getting some of that information can help you in understanding, okay, am I on the right track, or do I need to customize my message so that more people are able to connect with me and understand what it is that I offer, what my gifts and talents are as well. So definitely think about that as you are branding, thinking about what is unique about your brand, what sets you apart. Identify those keywords. You can Google keywords for your brand. You can use AI tools like ChatGPT and ask for keywords. For me, it's keywords for training companies, keywords for speakers, keywords for coaching and business consultants. And that can help me in my branding as well. And that can help you also as you're looking up those different keywords and things that you see, helping other businesses borrow. Flattery is taking someone else's idea. That's the highest form of flattery, being able to repurpose someone else's idea, give them credit. Absolutely. I love following social media marketing experts like Jordan Guyton. So I follow her. I was connected to her through HubSpot. They have a Black inbound sales accelerator program for selling on social media. Learn some great tips about how do you sell and share information on social media and make it more relevant. So definitely use the resources and the people who are out here and follow them and share the good work that they're doing and connect people to their services as well. So something else to consider that I've seen people sometimes struggle with is not really understanding how they are set apart from their competitors in the market. And again, that's another spot where research can be really helpful. If you do the like SWOT analysis, like what's your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats to your brand, doing that and seeing in real time, like what is your competition, and being able to identify if they have more certifications, if they have memberships with different organizations, if they're networking, they're going to conferences, are they marketing and sharing information about their company on a weekly basis? Like, what is it that the other competitors in your network, what is it that they are doing that is setting them up for success? And can you borrow some of those tactics and use that in your brand? So I think that's a big mistake that people sometimes take, is that they don't look out at their competitors and they don't follow what their competitors are doing. And that's not to say that you need to do every exact thing that your competitor is doing. No, that's taking in data, that's taking in knowledge and seeing what will work for you and your brand. Is it something that you can experiment with and try out for yourself? So, for example, video streaming, like I'm doing here today, this was something I would not do a year ago. Like, you couldn't pay me to do this. But being able to see how it works for other people in my field and saying, like, okay, if they're doing it, maybe I should give it a shot. Maybe I should try that out. So that could be something to consider for you. Video has a lot of engagement, whether you're doing it live or you're recording. Video reels for Instagram or TikTok, for example, that has higher engagement many times than just creating static posts of graphics and sharing about your products and your services in a way that people just see and read about you, being able to hear your voice and hear you explain what it is you do and share the information. And in the live stream, it's even more helpful because people are able to ask their questions. People are asking questions and getting responses, and then they're able to connect with you in a real way. And you can share about your expertise. You can share about what you know and what you have experienced, your lived experience, and also what you know from your education and from the work that you've done with other companies. Being able to have that space where you get to essentially be the star of the moment and be the person that who is giving advice and sharing information really can set your brand apart. So definitely consider that as well. And that will help you avoid one of the mistakes of not observing what your competitors are doing and not using that data to help you with your brand. So definitely think about that also. Something else to consider that I've seen people do, and myself included, is not think about like what's happening in pop culture, what's happening in the industry that people are talking about, and not including that in my branding and in my marketing efforts. So I don't want you to make those same mistakes. So we know in technology, AI is on the tip of everyone's tongue, and being able to talk about AI in a meaningful way, about the pros and the cons of it, how there's risks, how there's harms, but also how there's ways you can use it to help speed up your process of doing initial research and doing some discovery work and collecting some ideas about how to build out a usability testing plan or how to build out a marketing plan. Like, there are pros and cons to these tools, and people want to know more about how do they work for real people. So being able to share about what's happening in the industry, whether that's new topics, new tools, and thinking about sharing about things that your customers are going to care about. How can you help clients save money or make money? How can you help clients be in compliance if they have government regulations or if they have industry regulations for safety or cybersecurity? So think about what is it that you can do to help your potential customers, or if you are a job seeker, what are things that you can do to help potential companies? Why would someone want to hire you and bring you on the team? So think about those offers that you can give, those talents, those strengths that you can give, and speak to that, share that, and keep that in your forefront when you are promoting your brand and promoting your services. And that will help you avoid that staying in the silos and staying like with your head under the covers and avoiding the topics that are of the day. So you want to be in the forefront of the topics that are happening now. You want to be part of the trends and sharing your perspectives of it. And you don't have to know every single thing about how to build these tools. Like, you don't have to be an AI engineer, but you can share from your perspective of, hey, as someone who is in business, as someone who is in user experience, this is what I think of how these tools work today, and this is what I like to see in the future. So sharing your perspective, definitely helpful for building your brand as well. And people get to know you, people get to connect with you and learn about what is helpful and your perspective and how you can be someone that helps them get unstuck also. Okay, something else around branding is images and video. Yeah, so many folks are creating a lot of content on their smartphones, and the phones have gotten much better in the past couple of years. So, getting a lot more content. Something that I do see that can be off putting is when people do not resize their images and their video for specific social media platforms. So if you are posting the same content to LinkedIn, but also Instagram, but also you're posting some reels to TikTok and to YouTube, you also want to make sure that you have the right dimensions, because if you don't, your content is going to get all disoriented, and people are not going to be able to connect, and you're not going to be able to have as many views and engagement and comments and like and shares because people can't see your content and it's being like cut off. So like, there's times when we've had images that we posted on LinkedIn, but then posted them on Instagram, and then it's cut off because Instagram uses the square for their feed, and it's a rectangle for LinkedIn. So little things like that really can make your brand look less polished and less organized and less on top of things. And that's not the image that you want to share to potential partners and potential clients. So make sure that you are using tools to help you with resizing your images and your video. So things like Canva, Magic Studio is what we use on our team. And that can be a really powerful tool because you can create one graphic or one video, and then you have this magic resize where you can automatically make a copy of it for Instagram, for TikTok, for YouTube Shorts. And that saves you a lot of time and energy. So definitely avoid that mistake of posting images and videos without having it resized for the specific platform that you're using. Yeah, definitely love Canva. Yeah, definitely. This is a common mistake. So this happens all the time, but it's something that you can avoid. So check out Canva to help with that. Other tools that we use at Nerdy Diva are CapCut, CapCut, and that's an app that we use for editing photos and editing reels, and again, resizing it for specific social media platforms, and our newsletter also, where we share a lot of updates and strategy and tips and opportunities as well. Another tool that we use is called InShot, InShot, and that is another app that you can use for making adjustments, editing your photos, editing your images, and making sure that things are looking crisp and professional and polished, and that people can really focus on your energy and what you are sharing with the people that you want them to hear, and they're not distracted by these photos and these videos that look kind of funky and don't make sense. So you want people to focus on your quality content, not be distracted by the things that are not working. So tech challenges happen with anyone, as we saw today earlier, but it's bouncing back and it's learning from those lessons and being able to use that in your business and as you promote your brand. That ties into accessibility. So using color contrast when you are branding, when you are sharing information about your products, your services, your events, make sure that you are using high contrast colors. So this is something where sometimes I will see people have a light background and then they'll have light text on top of that background. That is hard to read. No one can read that. Or if you have dark background and then you have black dark text on your dark background, still again hard to read. So the rule is if you have a light background, you want to use dark text or darker images because that's going to really make it shine and people are going to be able to read that easily. And the opposite is also true. If you have a dark background like a black or a dark blue, you want to use more light color text, as you see that we use for Nerdy Diva, or you want to use lighter images to make it easier to read. That's a very common mistake that people make. But again, helping you with your branding, making sure that people can see your wonderful content and people can understand what it is that you are trying to share with them and not have those distractions of being hard to read and being hard to identify what it is that you're trying to say. So we want to make it as clear as possible. We want to make sure that people understand what's going on so that they can contact you for more opportunities, for more partnerships, for more community engagement, all the things. So that's what we're aiming for. Other things to think about is when you create those images, those photos, and when you create those video reels, having captions. Everybody does not have the ability to see the content that you produce. And many times people don't have the ability to listen to the content that you have. So whether they are someone who has a disability or there's someone who is in an environment where they can't listen to what it is that you are producing because of the environment that they're in. So maybe they're like in the library, for example, or they are picking up kids from daycare, who knows? But they may be interested in your content. But if you have captions where they can read it instead, that can help you get across to your audience. That's another way for them to pick it up and also have it interpreted by screen readers for people who have disabilities as well. So if you have that off text, that alternative text for your photos and for your images to describe what it is that you're sharing, you're going to have a higher chance of people being able to connect with your message and connect with your brand and be able to understand what it is that you are sharing with them and have them get in contact with you. So that really can be helpful. Other things to think about for visuals is font size and visual hierarchy. So the common guideline is you want to have things that are high priority at the top. That's the bottom line. If something is important, and you'll know what's important by doing your homework and doing your research with your potential customers, understanding what it is that they crave, what they are interested in, what it is that they come to you for. So when you have that information from your customers, you're able to highlight and show in your marketing, in your website, in your social media videos, and in your graphics, highlight bigger text, bigger font size at the top of your content, highlight the products and the services and the problems that you solve and how you can help people get unstuck. So that can really be a big boost for your brand. And those are some effective strategies to highlight the key information that your customers want to see. And lastly, something that I've seen people do is struggle with placement of their visuals. So going back to the visual design foundations, if you've taken any design classes, you may have heard about the Gestalt principles, which really talk about how do we arrange different elements for design. So things around like proximity, want to group things that are similar together to make it easier to understand. We want to use similar patterns that people have seen in similar contexts as well. And that's why it's important to see what your competitors are doing to see if there's some patterns that they have that you can use in your design as well, that people will identify as like, oh yeah, that's the same industry. That's the same type of pattern that I've seen somewhere else. You want to build in that familiarity as well. And I think about your colors that you use. There's tools like color wheels that can help you identify warm and cool and bold and subtle colors and which colors complement each other and which colors can provide some contrast that will still resonate with your brand and resonate with the meanings that you're trying to convey. So if you have an eco-friendly company, often we see greens and neutrals like browns and tans used with eco-friendly brands because we know that when people see those colors, they identify that with, oh, okay, this is a brand that cares about sustainability. This is a brand that cares about the environment. So some of these things might seem redundant, but the thing is, you want it to be familiar. You want people to see it and have a sense of, I have an idea of what this brand does and what this brand cares about. So that's something that you want to bring into the branding that you're creating. Colors, color meanings. There's a whole plethora of information on color psychology. Check out the color wheel for more information and bring that, embrace that into your brand and share that with people to help them understand who you are, what your business is about, and how they can connect with you for projects that you would be interested in as well. So those are some of the mistakes I've seen people do when it comes to branding. Some things that we talked about today is not understanding their customers, not focusing on what their customers want and need and the problems that they can solve. So make sure that you are doing that, that you are asking those questions on a regular basis. Do you have clients going back and asking your clients for feedback on your services and your products and what worked well, what didn't work well, and how you were able to help them solve problems? Ask them, why did they come to you? How did they find your business in the first place? And think about ways they can continue to promote your brand in ways that make sense for your intended target audience. Also thinking about ways to look to your competitors and see what your competitors are doing. Some people fail to do that. Make sure you're keeping an eye out what's going on with your competitors in your industry and bringing in some of those things that could work for your business into for experiments to run for marketing, for communications, for trying new things like streaming or video reels to connect with your audience. Also thinking about what are ways for you to connect with your audience in new ways and being able to start new conversations on trending topics. So that's something that some brands fail to innovate in the area. They only talk about the same topic over and over again. You want to make sure that you are talking to people about topics that are important to them, whether that's AI, if you're in tech, whether that's new ideas around sustainability, if that's the field that you're in. So thinking about what is it that's trending in your field and how can you bring that into the work that you do. Using those ways, using those topics as conversation starters and talking about that on social media, talking about that when you are sharing your communications out via newsletters or video reels as well. Using tools like Canva to help with image and video editing. Big mistake people have is just showing the same photos and videos across different platforms, but the dimensions are different. So you have to resize and do it in a way that people can see your content on any social media and be able to understand what it is that you're trying to share with them and not have it get cut off and not have it get disoriented and have a funky look to it. You want to make sure that people see your images and your videos and that they're polished and that they are showing your content in a positive light. And then accessibility. A lot of businesses fail to think about accessibility. So stand out and make sure that you are using color contrast, using WCAG guidelines, improve readability of the text that you use for your captions, whether that's for photo or video, making sure that you have captions so people can read your content if they can't hear it for some reason. And also thinking about ways to highlight your information in the visual hierarchy. So with big font size, with graphics that highlight the areas that you want people to really prioritize and know about your products and your brand. And thinking back about those visual design foundations. So sometimes people forget to add that to your design work and grouping similar things together, using proximity, using similarity, thinking about what mental models people have seen before and how you can use that in your brand. So do your homework, do your design pattern research. So look at different patterns of different websites, different apps that may be in a similar industry as yours, or look outside your industry to different industries and think about, are there patterns that you can bring in that are analogous to your industry? And think about ways to use color in a way that's meaningful, using color psychology and color wheels to help communicate your brand out to people so that they have an understanding of what's important to you, what's important to your brand. So these are some of the design mistakes I've seen, and these are some tips and tools for you to use. I hope that this is helpful. I hope that you're able to share this with your colleagues and with other people in your network and continue to grow your brand. And thank you for being here today. Are there any questions or any comments? Hello from WashU, Genome Engineering and STEM Sales Center. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining us today. Good to see the work in the community that's happening. Yeah, I know some of you are business owners also. If you have some ideas about branding that you want to share with us, definitely post in the comments as well. But I know branding can be a challenge. It can be fun, though. It can be an experiment where you continue to try new things. And uh, don't get so comfortable that you're not willing to make updates to your brand. So be okay with making some changes and making some updates over time, and definitely consider taking some risks and taking some time to experiment with new ways of branding. Shelby has a question. Does CapCut have a desktop option? Yes, it does. You can use CapCut on your laptop as well as on your mobile phone. So that can give you more screen space if you're using it on the desktop. So definitely consider that also. Yes. Yes. Thank you for joining us today. All right. Well, you all have been amazing. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Take care.